म्यूजिक की दुनिया में तहलका मचाने आ रहे हैं नए म्यूजिकल सेंसेशन जो ऋषि रिच के दरियाफ्त हैं। यूके में 2 नंबर 1 सिंगल देने वाले अब्बास हसन आ रहे हैं मस्त वन पे अपने कैनेडियन चाहने वालों पे जादू चलाने।
तो ख़वातीन हज़रात, खास तौर पे ख़वातीन, please welcome the one, the only, the man of the moment, Abbas Hassan. Abbas, thank you so much for joining us on Must One.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, it is our pleasure actually.
First
of all, well, my pleasure. I'll speak on my behalf. First of all, I want to get this straight.
Yeah.
Born in Canada, raised in France, living now in the UK.
That's right.
वैसे आप हैं पाकिस्तानी.
Yeah.
How did that come about? All that. How did that happen?
About? My parents were gypsies. I think that's the best way to put it. I was born in Canada and we moved to Paris when I was a kid, and that's where I grew up. And then I came to Canada for a little while in between. And then I knew that for music and for everything that I was interested in doing, I felt that England was kind of the right place to be, and that's how I ended up there.
So you made the decision to move to England after the music came into the life?
Yeah, once I started recording and I realized that this is really what I wanted to do. Also, my parents were living in Paris at the time, so it just kind of felt like the right place to be. I was also studying there, so it was kind of the perfect place for me to be.
So what I want to know is, you've also acted a little bit. I know you did a bit of commercial work growing up.
Yeah.
When did music become your sole focus?
Music was, in some sense, it was always my focus because when I was a kid, from a very young age, I was doing recordings in studio for advertisements, and I think that experience of being in studio or gaane record karna or just having that environment around you, I think it makes you realize that this is what you want to do. And so as I grew older and I did more performances, and I just started writing my songs and I started recording them, and then I knew this is it, this is what I want to do.
So Wasim's taken up the acting aspect. We already know your music speaks for itself, that you are an artist.
Yeah.
Modeling, that's also been a huge part of your life.
Yeah.
What is that all about? When did that start for you?
That kind of started when I moved to England. That's where it really kicked off. I sort of fell into it because I was meeting a lot of different photographers and musicians and people in the Asian media. And so I got signed with an agency there, and then I just started doing modeling for very, very random things, everything from restaurants to events to clothes.
What is the most random commercial you had to do?
Commercial.
You don't have to mention the client because they're in England.
I had to do a vacuum cleaner commercial when I was a kid. That was pretty random.
Wow.
So, but yeah, the main thing is, I think for me, modeling wasn't really a passion. It was more, I knew that it was a good way to meet people in the industry, and I wanted to get in there and do my music. It was a means to an end? Yeah, and so I kind of just did it, and it was helpful in that sense.
So if like I said, if it was a means to an end, what was the end you wanted to get at?
The end is getting into music. And being able to create art, and that's ultimately what the goal is.
So is it safe to say you're definitely a triple threat? But is it safe to say that music is your preferred art?
Yeah, music is really my passion. I really enjoy acting. I studied acting for a while, and when the film project came, actually, it was a bit of a tough decision for me because I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go down that road yet, especially because when you're an artist and you're working on your album, you don't kind of want to be sidetracked in the middle of it. So it was a bit of a tough decision, but then ultimately it was the opportunity to work with a Filmfare Award winner who had a really, really good concept in mind. When I heard the concept of the film, I knew I had to do it because it's about India and Pakistan and how borders don't matter. And I think for every Indian and Pakistani out there, I think our generation especially, it's something that we really need to support. And though I knew this was something I had to do, so that really attracted me.
And that's of course your film career, and we're going to sort of talk a lot about that in just a bit. But let's talk about, of course, the big milestone. And I'd like to sort of imagine Rishi Rich Productions was probably one of the biggest milestones your career has had till date. Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, it was just it was an amazing moment for me because here I am in London trying to do my thing, doing modeling, doing things. And then, I just started performing the songs that I'd recorded in studio, and every show that I did, I just tried to get an opportunity to perform. And suddenly, one day actually the first big break was there were people from BBC that came to one of my shows, and after the show they came over to me and they were really interested, and they were asking me lots of questions, and they wanted to do an interview. And then soon afterwards, I had some people in PR who sort of met me, and once we sort of met, they're like, "You've got to meet Rishi." And so,
what is that reaction because everyone's heard of Rishi Rich. We're in North America. We know Rishi Rich.
Yeah.
You, as someone who's always always aspired to be a part of the music world specifically. You hear this name, someone's like, you've got to meet Rishi. What is your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, it's thrilling. Obviously, as an artist, it's very exciting because Rishi he's launched Jay Sean's career. He's produced for Britney Spears, Madonna, you name it. And so it was very exciting to meet him. And I remember when I first met him, my first reaction was that he was incredibly humble, really friendly, and just really easy to get along with.
Well, is there any of that? Yo, bro, how you doing? We're gonna sit down, do some beats. Is there any of that you get?
Not really.
Is that what you think the music world is all about?
I always imagine it to be that way. I always imagine be like you're sitting and then it's like there's leather couches. I don't know, for some reason.
There are leather couches.
There are leather couches.
Tell us how it's like. I mean, is there like expensive furniture everywhere? And
it depends. It depends
imagine
on the
it smells
person.
really nice,
It depends on the person.
It smells really nice.
Come on, it's got to be up top. Everything's got to be like tip top.
I think everybody has certain favorites. Like some people have quirks. Like somebody is obsessed with having the right furniture, or somebody is obsessed with having the right car. Everybody's different, I guess, in that sense. But no, Rishi is actually a really simple, humble guy. And when we got into studio, we just started jamming and doing different things, and we just knew we had to work together. And I think when that happens, when you click with somebody in that level, you just know.
Now, I've actually been doing a lot of reading on you. Surprise, surprise. And I mean, everywhere you go, everyone saying that, the next Jay Sean. I'm sure you've heard of that comparison. How do you personally feel about that? And is that a comparison you agree with, or how do you take that?
Well, I mean, okay, it's very flattering to be called the next Jay Sean. I think, Jay Sean's an amazing artist. I really respect him. I think he's done an amazing job at getting out there and producing good music. And but on the same level, I think all artists are different. We all have our own soul and our own journey, and and so for me, it's very nice to hear that. But I think everybody's different, so I look forward to showing you guys and taking everybody on a different journey.
Well said.
Awesome. Okay, so speaking of your journey, of course, and your musical journey particularly, Sona topped the BBC Asian charts. That's a big milestone again. So I mean, Rishi's happened, and of course, he's agreed to kind of bring you as part of his label. You produced a single. It tops the Asian charts in London. What is that feeling like?
Well, it was amazing. I mean, I remember when it first happened. When I first found out, I was completely blown away.
Where were you when you first found out?
I think I was on my way home from somewhere, and I remember somebody texted me, and then I checked my tweets, and all of a sudden there was like 100 tweets coming in, like congratulations, congratulations.
Wow.
And then I realized that it'd gone to #1, and it's it was amazing because you put your work into something, you come up with ideas, and I remember a lot of people were like, how can you do one song in 3 different languages and have it work?
And it works
and
so well.
How can you do one song and top the BBC sort of Asian charts? I'm sure you've done music before, but I think that this was one of the first singles you actually put out.
I mean, this was my first single that I released.
Did you expect it to be that big?
Well, I hoped it would do well, but I didn't immediately expect it to go to #1. So I was really glad to hear that, and just the reaction that I got. It's it really motivates you as an artist because again, my whole thing was why should you be restricted? As an like हर आदमी कहता है कि या तो आप इस ज़बान में गाएं या आप इस स्टाइल से गाएं या आप ऐसे परफॉर्म करें, लेकिन मेरा ख्याल है कि it's nice कि आप ज़बानें मिक्स करें, अपने कल्चर को डिफरेंट तरीके से दिखाएं, डिफरेंट लोगों को इंक्लूड करें, चाहे वो उर्दू में हो या फ्रेंच में हो या इंग्लिश में हो. तो I really enjoy that.
And of course जिस मतलब किस्म की ज़िंदगी आपने मतलब जी तो खाना बदो ज़िंदगी वो हर कल्चर का इन्फ्लुएंस आपके मतलब ज़िंदगी पे आता है, which is great. So you almost are a hybrid culture of your own, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I'm finding is there are going to be people that kind of try and pigeonhole you and they can't kind of place you.
Yes.
And but ultimately that's a good thing. I mean, for me, if somebody has a difficulty boxing me in, then I feel like I'm doing something right.
Yeah, definitely, of course.
Now, after Sona came Habibi.
Yeah.
The first song was, it had a little bit of French, Urdu, English. This was more of a Middle Eastern feel to it. Where did that inspiration come from?
Well, growing up in Paris, there's actually a very big sort of North African community. So you've got a lot of Moroccans and Egyptians and Algerians. And so I used to listen to a lot of like Arabic music when I was growing up, and I remember. So that was one of the influences that I had, and the whole concept of the album for me is to have it be kind of like a trip around the world, but that kind of fits together in a specific way. And so yeah, you know, it was one of the tracks that we worked on, and you know, we were working on the album, and because of the break in filming that I had to be in India for 4 months, you know, it had been kind of a big gap. So so I came back, and then we were gonna release something because you know the fans were asking, okay, where's the next song? Kab aa raha hai, kab aa raha hai? So we're like, okay, we're gonna release it, and so we finally decided to release Habibi as just a radio track just for the fans. And surprisingly, that went to #1 as well. So
there we go. Surprise, surprise again.
Okay, so Abbas, I really want to know something, okay?
Yeah.
It's been a relatively short journey because people do what you've done for years before they come to taste the kind of success you've tasted.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't.
And sometimes they don't even. Yeah. So, you know, BBC happens, and then people are like, you know, people really want you to meet Rishi.
Yeah.
So then Rishi Rich happens, and you get onto the label.
Yeah.
And then Sona happens, and then it tops the BBC Top Asian charts. Habibi happens, it tops the charts as well.
Yeah.
At what point, during which milestone do you go, man, I think I've made it? Like, at what point do you start feeling comfortable in this rat race that, you know what, I'm actually doing okay, or I'm here to stay? Or does that feeling ever come?
You know what, I think in a way, you never, I mean, somebody like me, for example, because my goal isn't just, oh, I want to be famous. You know, for me, it's kind of like, I want to put art out, I want to inspire people, I want to do a lot of different things, you know, and it's not just in one place, it's, you know, it's in Pakistan, it's here, it's there, so for me, it's more like, you know, there are moments where you're very grateful and you feel like, you know, Allah ka shukr hai कि इतनी दूर पहुंच सका हूं मैं और ये you know ये हो गया लेकिन ये है कि you know, as you go along, I think आपकी drive वहाँ रहती है, you know, it's not just okay, I'm here, you know, it's more like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this next, and you're always, like for me, it's about always doing things that inspire me. So whether it's writing a song or working on a film that really inspires me, or you know, if I feel like it's something that's either gonna make somebody want to move physically or move, you know, intellectually or emotionally, then that's good enough for me.
Now we're talking about the process of getting to where you have come, and which is very, very far. What would you say was the hardest part of your whole journey?
The hardest part? That's a good question. I'd say, I mean, there's a lot of hard parts. You know, when you start, I think there's a lot of obstacles. You know, when you first decide that you want to be an artist, it's not easy. You hear a lot of people that are going to say, really, like, is that a good idea? Is it safe? You know, obviously, your family bhi pareshan hoti hai ki aap kya kar rahe hain, you know, and so it's, you know, you always have a lot of people kind of questioning you, and you know, you just have to have the self-belief and the self-determination that this is what I want to do, and I'm going to stick with it. So yeah, I think that the greatest obstacle, I'd say, is just doubts that you have along the way in the beginning. But I think you just have to kind of forget about those and focus on what you want to sort of achieve. So.
And I'm glad that you're actually focusing on what you want to achieve, because we're enjoying the fruits of your music a lot. We're going to talk more to Abbas Hassan, जानेंगे उनकी फैशन के बारे में, उनकी मूवीज के बारे में,
लड़कियों के बारे में,
लड़कियों के बारे में भाई लोग अपनी बेटियों को छुपा रहे हैं क्योंकि अब्बास हसन के पीछे लड़कियां पागल हो रही हैं. We're going to find out all about that. पर लेते हैं उससे पहले एक छोटा सा ब्रेक. तो आप कहीं ना जाइएगा क्योंकि हम अभी गए और अभी वापस आए.